Welcome back, and joining us on the show is Sumit Gupta. He's co-founder at CoinDCX. Sumit, what a day. It's pizza day, and it is also an all-time high day when it comes to Bitcoin there. I mean, I remember the folklore says that there was a time that you could buy two pizzas, just about two pizzas from a Bitcoin. It's trading at 111,000 right now. For the Indian markets, that is 94 lakh rupees for one Bitcoin.
Yeah. And you know, Manisha, how much those two pizzas are worth today? It's over $1 billion. Over $1 billion. Let that sink in. Yes,
So
phenomenal.
how are you reading into the price move to begin with? Because, the year didn't start so strong. Of course, there have been those underweight currents coming in from the US markets. But this rally clearly comes in on behind of legislative moves. And not just that, the public companies, the kind of holdings that they have increased in Bitcoin.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think this one is a bit different. Normally, we have seen the previous rallies coming in because of retail investor participation. This time, we clearly see that there are institutional investors and whales which are driving the market sentiment than retail investors. In fact, yesterday I was looking at the Google search trends, and I've not seen a lot of activity in terms of Google searches on Bitcoin. What that means is that a lot of people are still on the sidelines. But this rally, this price move is largely because of US institutional investors who are wanting to get into this asset class before anyone else. And now it's at the fifth largest asset class in the world, even bigger than Amazon and Google. So yeah, we have come a long way.
Well, we have. Sumit, when you look at the Bitcoin ETFs, and that clearly was a changing factor as well in 2024 itself, in Jan, that is, in the last 1 year, with $40 billion of the inflows that we've seen happen in the matter of last week itself. How are you reading these trends?
Honestly, Manisha, I think these trends are going to continue because when I speak to people in the US, I think it's just the beginning of the rally. It's just the beginning of institutional investors. It's the beginning of ETFs. I don't see any reason why this should slow down. Not just that, if you look at the data, as of May 25, only 7% of Bitcoins are held on exchanges up for sale. What that means is 93% of the Bitcoins are off on private wallets, cold wallets. And when you see a scenario like this where people are not selling, people are hodling, right? That means that the buying pressure is so high and there's a supply squeeze, which is going to drive the price higher and which is going to force these institutional investors to get in even more earlier. So the time that we are sitting in, I think this rally is going to continue and institutional investors are not stopping.
There also is a statement from the US president saying that he wants to see crypto regulations ready to sign by the month of August before Congress goes in for recess. What are you anticipating from this bill?
I think I would take that seriously. Those timelines also seriously. I mean, from my discussion with a lot of my friends there, I think this government is very serious about passing bills. I think we have seen stablecoin legislation coming out already. We are also expecting one more legislation in terms of market structure. I think those are some massive moves, and yeah, I think there's a lot more momentum that we will see in the coming few months.
And where does that leave India, Sumit? Because, yes, it was this week itself that we heard the Indian Supreme Court yet again tell the centre to come out with some kind of a bill, some policy when it comes to cryptos.
Yeah, I mean that's a that's a tricky one. We've been calling it out from several years now. I think, see, look, Bitcoin is the fifth largest asset class by market cap, and if people and if governments are still not serious about Bitcoin being a serious asset class, I don't know what will. I think it's high time. India needs to open up and give more openness and legitimacy to Bitcoin investing because retail want to get in, people want to get in, and Bitcoin is a lot safer. It's a $2.2 trillion dollar asset class. And if not today, then eventually if we do it 2, 3 years down the line, then Indians would end up paying lot more in the years to come. So I think the earlier we recognize it, the earlier we regulate it and bring it under the purview of regulated scenario, I think that is going to be beneficial to everyone, to the industry, to customers, and it will build a healthier and a safer ecosystem because the world is moving.
It sure is. Sumit, even as we wait for that policy paper, how are you looking at the Indian participation? I understand the taxes are really high, but there are people who continue to invest even at these numbers. Also, the derivative market, that seems to be really picking up and developing faster.
Yes, all the markets are picking up fine, and we are seeing a lot of new investors coming in, Manisha, a lot of new participants. Obviously, it's not as much as we had seen 3, 4 years back because of the high taxation. But let me also highlight that if someone is buying Bitcoin and holding it for 2, 3, 4, 5 years time period, I think the tax does not impact them. So it doesn't stop anyone to investing and looking at it like a real estate or a very long-term investment. I think because there is no TDS, TDS is only applicable when you sell Bitcoin. Capital gains when you realize the profit. But I think the way current tax structure is for spot buying, I think people can still take an exposure and either do SIP. We have SIP product. So there are a number of ways in which people can start taking some exposure before it gets even more expensive. And I was looking at doing some analysis yesterday. I think all the macros and tells me that we are nowhere the end of the rally. I think is just starting, and I do believe the rest of the year is we are going to see a lot more momentum in Bitcoin prices.
Oh, well, absolutely. There have been various reports from global banks and brokerages as well suggesting that. But, it's not just about Bitcoin again, because we've seen Ethereum gain by 45% in the matter of last month. A lot of meme coins in US seem to be doing quite well. The Trump coin itself, I mean, the US president is going to have dinner with the people who own his meme coin. I mean, there's just so much happening, which is serious and then not so serious as well. What is the serious stuff that you will watch out for this year?
I mean, a lot of those things continue to happen. I think Bitcoin is largely dominated by retail plus institutionals. I think a lot of these Trump coin and meme coins are largely retail frenzy, which is driving the prices up. Ethereum, of course, is a very serious, asset, which is promising. Ethereum, Solana. So, these are all, I'll consider them into the blue chips category. But I think for a new investor, I would not focus too much attention on the meme coins and some of these riskier low cap altcoins. Of course, people understand it. Some people get it, and some people have higher risk appetite. For them, of course, they can play around with that. But these things continue to happen. It's not new. We have seen those things happening in the previous rally as well. I think what matters is that do you really understand what you're getting into in terms of these altcoins? And if you do, and if you understand the risk associated, then why not experiment with a small amount? But yeah, I mean, those things continue to happen. People have different projects. New projects are coming up, and those are all like I've seen in the last 8-9 years. A lot of these are interrelated. The way it works is that Bitcoin goes up, and then that money then flows into altcoins, Ethereum, Solana, and in the rest of the coins. So it's a journey, it's a cycle, and people who understand this essentially tend to take advantage of that and make higher gains. But if you are new, I think I would request you to first limit it to some of the blue chip ones, and then essentially as you get more understanding, expand to other assets.
Right. Sumit, he can't control his smile.
He can't.
It's $110,000 asset that he is. And, this, even as the market is at the low point of trade, we're talking about the equity markets. And a couple of things stood out for me. One, he said all those who are in this space right now, they're hodling it. That's a very crypto term, as it is, holding it. And then he started speaking about blue chips in cryptocurrency as well.
It's a different asset class, Mangalam, and I think it's time, the way it has stayed, and with various countries coming out with various policy papers on that, I'm assuming that India would follow suit soon.
Yeah, and just to complete the loop on the pizza day that you spoke about, for those who are uninitiated, way back on 2010, May 22nd, 2010, a gentleman from Florida, I guess, bought 2 Papa John's pizzas using 10,000 Bitcoins. Back in the day, 15 years ago, 10,000 Bitcoins.
That's exactly what Sumit converted into. Those 10,000 Bitcoins now stand at billions of dollars.
So you might be smiling right now. I know one person who's not smiling is the one who actually paid those $10,000 for those 2 Papa John's pizzas. Yeah. We'll wrap up on this edition of Halftime Report on that note. Papa John's pizzas makes you feel a little hungry. What you do is, while Manisha and I eat the pizza, you watch Business Lunch.